Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the Duel Masters Bolmeteus White Dragon. This is a Zoids version of a creature from the Duel Masters card game, or at least this is what I think it is. Basically, Takara Tomy used their Xenorex Zoid as a basis to recreate the White Dragon as a Zoid for the 20th anniversary of Duel Masters, apparently, and well, this is the result. I'm going to unbox the kit, we're going to see how it compares to the regular Xenorex, and of course we're also going to check it out in action, so let's get started.
Robo Shop.
Alright then, let's start with the box here. I have a very busy design on the front here, and I don't know what most of this means. DM obviously stands for Duel Masters, and this is a 20th anniversary promo for the Duel Masters game, but I don't know why there's a 7 here or an upside down 1 here. Not a clue what any of this means. Here on the side we have a design that's actually a lot more like a Zoids box. We've got the logo here, we've got the diagonal line with the picture. This is the same font as on the regular Zoids boxes from Takara Tomy. Here we just have, I guess this is on all the Duel Masters packaging probably. Here we got this, again, standard Tomy design actually. Really, it looks to me like this is, you know, in here we've got this, so like Tomy made this and they just slapped some Duel Masters branding on it. Anyway, let's take a look inside. Yeah, this also, if you're a fan of Zoids, definitely looks very familiar. And now let's see here. Okay, this is actually meant to be up. Okay, so first of all, we immediately know this thing has its own manual, which is really cool. Here on this side we have, let's get the boring stuff out of the way first. We have a standard, of course, Zoids Wild gearbox, because underneath this is a Xenorex, a whole bunch of parts packs here, and I think before we go through these packs, what we're going to do is we're going to take a peek inside the manual so that we know what we're looking at when we get the stuff out of the bags. Here we go. So, says confidential here, like it has on other limited edition stuff. No paper clip though. We have a picture of the dragon with a whole bunch of info on, you know, what all the weapons are and stuff, I'm sure. And then we have a parts list. Now, obviously, we're going to have to do a comparison with the Xenorex parts list here, in part because I want to see whether we're actually getting a complete Xenorex, but it does not look that way. We have, the numbering's different, but we've got the 2 torso halves, the power switch is the same. This part, these are the head pieces. I mean, some of the head pieces for the Xenorex, which this one doesn't have. Legs look the same, so yeah, I think this is all the leg parts. The back, the arms, the feet appear to be, well, this might be the same as the big feet that come with the extension set, because this is definitely a tail with the additional piece here, and this is the leg armor. Now this is the head and the neck for the dragon. This is all completely new stuff, and yeah, no complete Xenorex in this, and it actually has fewer parts in common with the Xenorex than I would have expected. Like, this is basically the same. And then here we'll have to do a comparison later. I'm actually not sure. And everything that's in the back that is C here is completely different. Now, this is all standard Takara Tomy stuff. We have, of course, you know, the building instructions, which nothing unusual going on here. It looks like Zoids instructions. The wings. Oh, look. Yeah, these wings. Just based on what this looks like here in the instructions, these are the Storm XA wings, I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously we're going to do a comparison with the Storm XA, but I think, yeah, these are the same wings. And the weapon here that goes on the back, and yeah, that's it. That's the building instructions, start to finish. Completely bespoke instruction booklet for the White Dragon, and definitely not a Xenorex with additional parts, which is, you know, it would have been kind of cool to be able to build a Xenorex in yet another color scheme from this box, but at the same time, though, we've had enough of those. You guys know I have every variant of the Xenorex under the sun, unless there was a limited the Koro, that's what I'm trying to think of. Unless there was a limited Koro version, which I don't remember if there was one. But all the Takara Tomy releases, the Storm XA, all of them. Anyway, torso halves and these leg pieces come in saturated blue, which is not my favorite color on models. And then we have A2, which contains the mechanical bits that drive the leg movement, the power switch, and the arms, and this is the peg that the tail mounts on. Wow, almost tossed this. And this, I can't remember where this goes, I think on the chest. These come in a sort of nice warm-ish gunmetal gray color. Not going to spend a lot of time looking at these. If you've seen one of my other Xenorex reviews, of which there have been quite a few, then you know what these parts look like. Speaking of which, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering what the hell is going on here, what is going on is this is my 11T build. Yeah, these are just the large size. The large size feet that come with the expansion sets, I guess, that came for the Xenorex. Anyway, as I was saying, this Zoid, if you're coming here from Duel Masters, is the 11th billionth variant of a Zoid called the Xenorex. And I have reviewed every single variant of that Zoid on my channel. So if you're interested in finding out more about this, or about Zoids, which is the best toy line in the history of toy lines, then you should check out some more videos on my channel, and then you should also subscribe, and you should join my Patreon because you should. Anyway, this is the tail. Obviously, I think this is the expansion piece. We're gonna do a comparison afterwards, but this comes in this very light gray, almost off-white color. Leg armor, the tip of the tail, and the feet. S is, as usual, a whole bunch of mechanical bits. I'm already seeing something very questionable here. These are the mechanical bits that the drive through the movement of the limbs, and for some reason they're the color of dried scrambled eggs. Very strange. Caps are metallic silver. It does come with a rider, or I should say pilot, because this one, after all, has a closed cockpit. And that's it. Obviously, no clear canopy here because this is not a Xenorex. I am, let's just say, cautiously pessimistic about how these yellow pieces are going to look, because you can always see them through the limbs, and they've often, well, really always, except for the Storm XA, they've been in kind of crappy colors. And yeah, we'll see. Anyway, C is the bag with all the new parts, which some of them are backed separately and some of them are not because of the reasons. Well, it's just all the pre-painted and metallic stuff that's in these bags. So, or pre-painted stuff, I should say. This is not the same color. Anyway, this is the weapon that goes on the back. This may or may not also have been released as an extra weapon. I'm going to have to check on that and get back to you about that when we do the comparisons in the photo booth. We've got these beer can launchers here, which are in this sort of metallic bluish color. The parts of the wings that mount closer to the body. This is new, I think. This is also new. It's probably stuff that drives the neck movement. And this goes on the back to mount the wings. It actually doesn't look like the piece from the Storm XA, strangely enough. Again, obviously, if you've seen my videos, you know I'm going to be doing comparison shots later, and then we'll find out how close this is to the Storm XA. This is definitely completely new stuff here. This is the lower jaw, which appears to be molded in the same blue plastic as these pieces, but it has silver painted on it. And then we have these round pieces that go on the side, also blue with silver paint on them. Paint application looks good, not a whole lot of overspill, like a fraction of a millimeter. This is the piece that goes on the other side. And then we have these round shield radar dish things here, which are also blue, but the painted parts or sections are white. Two of these. This, if I remember correctly from the picture, this goes on the head, and it has this green painted part here and the same white as the other round piece. It's a very odd looking part. There's two of these, and this sort of very like Chinese mythical dragon looking head, which has a yellow painted eye, white stripe here. And this actually looks like, so I'm looking at this with glasses on because I was curious. Yeah, this is, the gunmetal here is painted. I can see it properly now. But it's so, actually no, it's not that close. Anyway, the point is that I thought this was actually molded in gunmetal plastic, and that Takara Tomy had somehow adopted the Bondi method of multicolor plastic molding, but of course they haven't. Let's take a look at all of these pieces here. It's not as many, but they are fairly big. So anyway, yeah, these are very familiar from the Storm XA, except these ones are painted. They appear to be molded in gray and painted blue, which I don't know if this is supposed to be. I mean, it's the same color as this. I don't know if the metallic blue is supposed to match the other parts, but it definitely doesn't. It's much brighter. It's one of those wings that we've also seen on the Storm XA. Still think these look a bit blocky, but let's see how it looks with the, on this actual Zoid. Maybe they were actually designed for this, I wonder. Anyway, this is the neck, which is chrome silver. Same color as the teeth and these things, and actually molded in blue and then painted silver. And finally, we have these guns that also look like they're the same as on the Storm XA, I think, and also molded in gray and spray painted metallic blue. So you see, I don't know how much any of this is supposed to match, but I will say that just based on this unboxing, the colors are kind of all over the place. But anyway, let's find out what it actually looks like put together. I'm going to build this guy, and then we're going to take a look at it in the photo booth. So, first of all, here's a comparison to the ZenRX Storm XA. We'll take a look at the wings in a second, but other than those being the same, I really have to say these two look extremely different. Of course, there's the different heads and necks, but the additional parts on the limbs also mask the fact that those are identical well enough to where, unless you're a huge Zoids nerd, you probably won't notice that these two are almost the same. Here's a look at the wings. I left the cannon on so you can't really see it here, but the mounting piece in the middle is actually the same as on the Storm XA, so other than the different collars and the fact that the Storm XA has missiles and the White Dragon has that big cannon, these are the same. What's interesting about that is that it has two peg holes to attach the rider in both versions. The instructions for the White Dragon tell you to put the rider there, but the Storm XA still has its cockpit, so it really looks to me like they either designed these wings specifically for the White Dragon and then recycled them for the Storm XA, or the two were designed simultaneously to save cost. These little cannons are also identical. They mount on the arms on the White Dragon and not on the tail like on the Storm XA, and there's that circular piece that makes them look different, but it is the same part. Now, here's a quick comparison to the ZenRX and its standard colors. I just wanted to do this because they're both blue really, but the different shades of blue and the amount of off-white and silver on the White Dragon really set the two apart. And for this review's old school collection flex, here's the Gangyelado. I feel like in terms of the overall aesthetic, this is actually the closest comparison. The White Dragon definitely also has that 80s dragon toy vibe to it, it just looks a bit less blocky. And here it is in action. Of course it walks just like the ZenRX, but the head movement is completely different. As you can see here, the neck moves up and down as the mouth opens and closes, which really gives the Zoid much more of a sense that everything on it moves. Unfortunately, you can also see here that the right arm doesn't sit loosely enough for the movement to work because gravity doesn't pull it down. That was also a problem with some of the ZenRX specimens I have. It's an easy fix, you just need to sand that peg a bit, but it's happening and it's a bit disappointing. Here's a closer look at the way the head works. It's kind of interesting because the lower jaw is actually fixed and it's the upper part of the head that moves, which is the opposite of how that usually works on Zoids. The neck movement is also kind of, I don't know, it masks what's really going on, so it looks surprisingly natural actually. Well, and that's about all I've got to show you. I gotta be honest here, this thing is kind of a mixed bag for me. I really don't like the collars. The silver on the neck looks totally out of place, and I've just never been a fan of this saturated blue tone. But then again, this thing has the distinction of being the only ZenRX variant where the tail extension piece is not in a different color for no reason, and well, if you've watched my other reviews, you know I've been OCDing about that for months now. I really do have to give this model credit for its newly designed functional neck though. It's just nice to see that they actually put in the effort to design that for this limited release at all, and not only that, it actually works really well too. So, should you get this? Probably not for the stupid money it's going on eBay for. I also can't comment at all on what kind of value you're getting here as a fan of Duel Masters because I don't know anything about it. What I can tell you is that there's no card in the box, so if that card's really worth what I saw it go for on eBay, I'm afraid no dice, you don't get one here. As something that's probably going to go down as a strange oddity in Zoids history and one of a small handful of Dragon Zoids though, yeah, it's kind of cool. And if you like the look of it, it definitely has the engineering to back it up. And it also has the distinction of having by far the most guns on any new Zoid since before Genesis came out, and if you're like me, you've got to love it based on that alone. Well, and that's it for this one, folks. I won't have any new Zoids to review for a while, and I've been more busy actually painting things lately, so I don't know what's next. I did pre-order all of the upcoming HMM Redlers, though, and I'm super excited about that one, but it's just not coming out for a while. I've been thinking I might do a preview video, though, so maybe I'll do that, or a review of a vintage model, or I don't know, we'll see. I do always have new Zoids content coming out though, so if that's what floats your war dick, you should definitely subscribe to my channel and leave this video a like while you're at it. If you'd like to help make sure that I can continue to buy stupidly expensive limited releases for you guys to review, I also have PayPal and Patreon links in the description, but just giving this video a like and sitting through the ads instead of skipping over helps me a lot as well. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.